And for those that have missed the introduction, you just missed an introduction. Welcome to the recording. So that was the first thing that I wanted to share. The second thing that I found that I wanted to share was something that I only came across yesterday. Now, I'm not sure how clear that it is to everybody. Can people see this?
You're not sharing at the moment?
Oh, I'm not sharing. Okay.
Okay, we got it.
Got it? So it's the crypto 4 eras. So people may have heard about this cycle that Bitcoin and crypto go through and are trying to understand how big the cycle is. How can the cycle compare to other cycles? Where do these cycles even come from? And this infographic that I found, it just kind of sums everything up. So the cycles happen along with the halving. It's kind of part of the halving process. Okay, so we've had 4 halvings now. Have we had 4 halvings or 3? We've had 4, haven't we?
Too sure. I think that was the 4th one in May, wasn't it?
That was the 4th one. Yeah. So this is us over here now, starting in April 2019. Now, this is a little bit old and it hasn't been updated. Obviously, we're in 2021 now, and we've got question marks going along here. And I was trying to estimate myself what these question marks would be. Because if you look at these, obviously the scales are different in each one of these. So would we be starting at 20 down here?
I think will be the measures that the coin reach out. If you see, the first one was the top was 1200, the second one was the 20,000, and I think this one is open now because now we are already in the 50 somethings, no? And
yeah,
I'm wondering where we're going to stop.
Well, if you look at the size of the scale down the bottom, so this one was 2015 to 2019. So there was 2015, 16, and 17 with very little happening, which is the same as 2009, 18, or 19, 20, and 21. So it's really judging from this, because everybody's saying we're only at the start of this bull run, we're only at the start of it. Really judging from the, comparing to these two.
But now with the big players, I think it's going to slow down a little bit. They don't like so much going up and down.
The volatility.
I think this is going to stabilize. No, we're not going to see that opportunity to buy already on the deep, so deep again. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
So do you think that we'll have a completely different cycle this time, and that we won't have a crash at the end of it, that now with institutional investors involved, that we could just grow steadily?
In my opinion, I think there will be a crash, but not so big like the last one. The retracement will not be so big. That's my impression, because these all big whales coming on the game, they will manipulate this in a certain way to make sure that the price stay a little bit. They will create that. If they create that opportunity, is for them to fill the pockets. Basically, that's my opinion, because you still can manipulate this market, you know.
Yeah, the markets can be very manipulated, but then there's also a question over how much Bitcoin is missing, the people can't get access to.
They say that is about 20% of, I think will be much more, but they say that is about 20% that, and in fact, last weeks we seen some wallets that they never been touched on the last, since 2010. They had some movement on the last weeks. It was funny.
Okay.
One with 100 Bitcoins and another one, I don't remember exactly how much Bitcoins was there. They never touched since 2000, I think 10 was the last time that wallets have been touched.
Yeah, I think I read recently that there's only 4 million out of 18 million Bitcoin in circulation at the moment.
I heard that today, actually.
Yeah, in fact, if you see the last weeks, it has been massive, the amount of Bitcoins that are going to cold storage. It's massive. I think in short time, there will not be many coins on circulation. That will increase the value, of course.
Well, supposedly, but liquidity has been drying up on exchanges compared to the last couple of years anyway. And it's not, well, we can't say the price hasn't gone up because it has gone up, but it hasn't had the price impact that people thought that it would have. But then we also have the F2 pool that are constantly dumping.
Each time they do that, you see how quick it's getting bought up, though. It's getting bought up like lightning. You can see it, you know. So, who knows?
I think we can reflect the structure of the market wave after wave is growing up on a certain kind of dimension from one wave to the other one.
Marco,
sorry.
freeze.
I'm sorry, it's my connection. I think I lost you guys.
No, you have it. We can see it. You're back.
Okay, it's my connection. Sorry, I don't know where it missed.
Did everybody freeze there, or was that just me?
That's just an awkward silence.
Did everybody freeze? Yeah.
Everyone
think
froze,
so.
yeah.
Not sure what happened. You disappeared from the top left-hand corner. You jumped down on the screen.
I'm the second one now. Maybe this is the first one for me.
I have no idea what happened there. It was like the whole of the room just froze. Okay, so David, what have we got next on our agenda?
I don't know. We just kind of gauge everyone's sentiment, where they're at. I mean, are people bullish, bearish? I don't know. Anyone buying at the minute? Anyone selling?
I have some questions. I don't know if it's the right time.
Go for it, yeah.
Because there is some traders on the room. I'm start to become a little bit more interested to make movement of the coins instead of just being a holder. What kind of do you recommend to learn how to do day trading? You recommend any courses that we should be doing, or any people to follow? To the traders on the room, what's your recommendation for a newbie like me?
I personally wouldn't pay anybody. The best way to learn is to, all of these different terminologies, like ascending wedges, bearish divergences. Just literally crack open. There's
Investopedia.
Investopedia, that's the one I was looking for. And it's just go through it, read it, get to know it. Just read it every day, an hour or two a day, and before you know it, you'll understand the terminologies. And it takes a while. But there's no point really paying anybody, because
it's also a good idea to get a demo account.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah, they do paper trading, don't they? I think a lot of the exchanges allow that. But yeah, that way you're not taking risks.
I'm familiar already with the Fibonacci, with the Elliott waves. Of course, I'm not a pro, but I start to understand how you can design them. How important are especially the Fibonacci in terms of where it creates resistance and support on the coins. I'm start playing with that, so to be a little bit comfortable with that. But I'm not doing nothing yet because I'm not confident exactly to go and start playing with money.
I think a lot of the articles and a lot of the books out there are actually talking about the stock market a lot rather than Bitcoin prices. And I think it's a different dynamic, because in the stock market, you've got essentially institutional investors. In Bitcoin, you've got a significant number of retail investors or amateurs playing the game, and they react quite differently. So it's a psychological thing rather than a thought out process that's driven like the rest of the stock market. And so it's quite volatile. And that's why you've got all these jumps at the moment with 1 or 2%, in half an hour. you know, mainstream investors, you wouldn't see Tesco's shares going up and down that much without an announcement of something.
That I'm used to, because I come from 2017, but as all the time as a holder, so I'm used to the market go up 30%, 50% in one day, or come down on the next day 30%. So I'm used to that. I'm not scared about that. I think there is a time to start to learn a little bit more and maybe to play a little bit more, because I think the opportunity that we are facing in these days are really big. If we know how to take advantage of this, I think the next 3 to 4 years will be really, if you need to make some money, you will do it now, because then you stabilize a little bit and then you are playing like everyone is playing. That's my thoughts.
I think the other thing to probably be mindful of, Marco, is that I can't remember, I saw it the other day. I know it's out there, but I think it was between 80 and 90% of people that were day traders were actually losing money. So that's what I was saying. When you're looking at doing it, there's great potential there, but you also got to be prepared for, actually, I could lose a lot, or if I don't do my trades right, put stop losses in and stuff like that, it could be quite painful.
No, that's the point. I don't want to be part of that 80%. I want to make part of the 20% that is on the. I'm not saying become rich about that, but just taking some profit.
We have 2 people with us this evening, Vivian and Catherine, that are completely new to all of this and have no idea how any of it works. So we might be just speaking a little bit above their level at the moment. So I'm going to just slow it down for them and ask them directly, Vivian or Catherine, have you got any questions? Is there anything in particular you'd like to know that we can take a little step back and just explain to you in more detail? Yeah, go for it. Take yourself off mute there, Vivian.
Yeah. So as far as my understanding, you choose a platform where to trade the Bitcoins, and then do you invest some money, and you have a portfolio with an encrypted, like a piece of code, like that it's like representing your virtual money or Bitcoins. But then how do you keep those secure, and how you choose the right platform to trade on? That's one of my questions.
Okay, so in terms of choosing platforms, there's some very well-known platforms that you can kind of rely on. Like Binance is a good platform, and Coinbase is a good platform. Does anybody recommend any other?
Polynex, Kraken.
Kraken has had some issues.
Well, in fact, the issues that Kraken have, it give you very good opportunities to buy Bitcoins. Because they have that big jumps that come down if you put some orders on the middle. I have a friend that he made a very good purchase last day on the last days on Ethereum, really cheap.
Happy days for him. I know people that lost over that.
The problem is you need to put the money blocked, waiting that one day they arrive there. If you have some free money there and you want to invest in that kind of player, Kraken is a very good one to do that. But
most of the exchanges, Vivian, if you want to be putting in, I think it's more than about €500 or $500, you need to be KYC'd. So when you sign up with the likes of Binance, they'll ask you for ID, and you can only do limited transactions until you provide all that sort of detail. If you're new, I would suggest buying and just holding until you learn an awful lot more about the market, and not worrying when the price goes down, because the long-term picture is it's going to go back up. Okay. Like a lot of people new to the market will buy in, they'll say, oh, Bitcoin is 48,000 or whatever it is. And tomorrow morning you could wake up and it could be 42, and you panic and you sell. And the day after you wake up and it's 60, and hard luck. Okay. So just be very, very careful of the emotions and not looking at the price every single day. and buy and hold, and then come to the likes of these meetups and learn and read. And
there is another thing that you can benefit if you are a holder, you can put on that lending platform, and you can have some profit from lending the Bitcoin, let's say. And I don't know, Celsius is 4.75 today percent of that they pay to you.
You can actually even do them on Binance. They have the Binance savings.
But it's lower. It's much lower.
Yeah, but it's all in the one platform. If for newer people just trying to.
I was going to say, yeah, if you're quite new at it, you probably will find, as Paula said, Coinbase and Binance, you won't necessarily get the best deals for things like staking coins to get interest in effect from, but the interface is, well, certainly Coinbase is really, really straightforward. Binance is probably the next step where you can look at charts and things like that. But as a starting point, the other thing you get on Coinbase is it's got a section called Coinbase Earn, and it gives you videos that just talk you through certain things, and you get a little bit of crypto. It's only like $3 or $4
rewards, I think they call it.
Yeah,
3 or 4 euros. That I have about 1,000 euros already from that 3 or 4 euros that you watch, because most of them they grow up with the time. Just the fact they are listed on Coinbase is a big value for them. So normally the coins really easily go 10, 20 times up. So you learn and you make money.
Do you know what coins you're interested in at the moment, Vivian?
The original Bitcoin.
Okay.
But I know that there are like different types. Then I'm not sure if I have the full list at the moment, because they keep like adding. But
I think there's over 6,500 coins listed on CoinGecko at the moment. So yeah, I'd be surprised if you have the full list.
Are you familiar with trading at all?
No, not really. But I was studying one of the platform for exchange, like the technology behind the exchange of like elements on the
okay.
How do you I lost the terminology because I'm not studying it anymore. One of my previous companies, they were trying to do not like a currency related trading on the platform, the blockchain platform that is supporting Bitcoin. And I got interested, but that then is like a huge topic. So that's why.
It can be quite intimidating.
Also, yes.
Yeah.
It seems like really logic, but it's really, if you start thinking about like kind of selling and buying, is a bit trickier, like especially for like a new joiner.
But if you learn the technology behind Bitcoin, you start to become more confident of holding. You start to see the benefits that is behind of a coin, and you start to build some confidence. One thing is trading, another thing is investment. I'm an investor at this moment because I hold my coins most of the time. I think I lost all of
most of the time.
I lost all of you.
Now we can still hear you.
Still got you.
Can hear you. I lost your video.
Okay, I didn't know if I was talking or not. So I hope that you understand that, Vivian.
I think something to be careful of when you start is to have a look at the platforms and try and find out where they've got listed all of the different commissions for the different coins, because they don't charge the spread on each coin. The buy and sell spread is different for each coin. And so you can look at a chart and see something and say, oh, that's going to be a good one. And, put in £1,000 onto it, and you end up paying $500 in purchase fees or commission, because some of them have got really, really steep commission fees. Bitcoin, because they've got so much volume going through, is probably the lowest spread. So it's normally 0.75%, something like that. But some of them could be really steep.
Okay, thank you. That's really important.
Catherine, have you any questions?
No, guys, I just started recently. So I got the bug, if I can describe it like that, two weeks ago. But I've just been looking around. I'm now on finance.
That was a bad time to get the bug.
Probably the best time to get the bug and just feel the pain straight away, and then you're over it.
So literally trying to get as much information as possible. That's the main reason why I joined you. But I think I'm a little bit, I must be one step ahead of Viviana, because I already got I'm on Binance, and I haven't really invested a lot of money, a couple of £100, just trying to see how things move on, trying to get as much information as possible. I'm not so much interested in trading, although it's also something that I'm curious about, but it's just trying to get a grip of and trying to understand what is happening in
we're back.
The movement.
We're back.
I think I can hear Carlos.
Did you guys miss me?
No, I got that. We got that, Carlos.
Okay.
I think Paula dropped out.
Yeah,
I do apologize. But that's it, guys. So that's why I joined the group, to get more information. Obviously, you see a lot of, I wouldn't say scams, but everybody seems to be trying to sell you something. So you need to be on the defensive and try to understand where you're going. And gradually, as you get more understanding, then there's a possibility of investing more. I'm trying to avoid this sort of phobia of trying to invest immediately, just getting information and slowly moving on. And that's it. That's pretty much in a few words where I'm staying. If I feel more confident, I will start putting more money. But, let's go gradually. It's not that I have any doubts in particular, but I just don't want to put money on what I don't fully understand. So I know the movement can be quite sharp, but I'm already on top of what it feels to me, on top of the wave. If I was doing this in last summer, it would have been a different story, I think. Let's see where we go.
I think when you're first starting out as well, you might hit a time when you actually make quite big profits just because you're on the right part of the curve. And then it's very tempting to use leverage and to basically invest money that you don't have. My advice to anybody would be avoid that like the plague unless you really know what you're doing and you've got other information other than the chart. And the reason for that is because as soon as the share of the coin starts to drop, your exchange will automatically close your position when you run out of money.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll go to sleep one night. And I think there's a lot of manipulation going on at the moment just because of the timings of certain crashes. It's too much of a coincidence that last night's crash happened exactly at midnight, which was 7 p.m. in the United States, which probably just happened to be when most of them weren't looking at their computer screens. They shut down for the day, and then suddenly the market dived. And anybody who had a leveraged position, as the market fell, they'd have lost all of their ability to pay that, and the exchange would have closed their position. And then, of course, it goes back up again. And whoever's manipulated the market is making money on it. Don't invest money you haven't got. It's a very easy way to lose everything.
And don't if you get inside of a position that become really profitable with the time, start taking some profits out. Don't ride all the wave like I did in 2017. So
then you ride the wave down again.
I did from down to up and down again, and then the frustration because I was thinking that I lost everything, and now it's back again to the top. So take some profits out. Really don't think always why you are doing the things. And if you don't go with the FOMO, with the fear of missing. So that's basically, I made a lot of mistakes because I started reading on Twitter, AEB saying that he was going full on that coin, on the other one that was promising X and Z. And I lost. I could be in much better position today if I didn't listen too much things.
Yeah. I think trading every day is a big mistake as well, and trading on emotion. I think a couple of trades a month, a couple of good, clever trades, properly planned strategies, as opposed to just trading on emotion is the worst, especially if you've come off, if you're on a revenge trade, if you've lost the trade and you say, damn, I've got to make that 10 grand back. So you start up on leverages, and next of all, you know, you get into a bad place very quickly. And equally as dangerous is trading after a big win. Say you've just nabbed 20, 30 grand on a nice, tasty long. And next of all, you go, right, I'm Jordan Belfort.
Yeah.
Let's 100x this baby straight away. And that's a one-way ticket as well to getting yourself destroyed. So never trade emotion, and only do them when there's really, as you were saying, strong on-chain analysis to match your charting as well. You've got a lot of fundamentals, you know.
In very good risk management, I think one of the most important things in investments, whatever is the investment, is risk management. So have a very good risk management in place. Take very attention to that. Never fall down of the rules. And I think you will be in the safe zone to profit over the time.
Yeah, and then the trading, as you were saying earlier, most people get wrecked. You've got to be like a robot. I mean, we've got to have the edge on all the bots that's in the market. These sharks, like the Sailors or the Teslas.
Oh, the like Uniswap is just bot ridden.
Yeah, it's a joke, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
full of celebrities.
Yeah.
Huh?
Is that full of celebrities? Just
no, it's just full of bots. Uniswap, the exchange, and the way the liquidity pools work, and you know, you can write a bot that will read the contracts faster than you can get your transaction through, and you know, they'll go in before you on price. And when liquidity is low in pools, like an order worth $1,000 could make an impact on the price, which can be crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, Uniswap can be harsh. Quinn has something. I'm going to bring Quinn on. Quinn, do you want to unmute yourself? And hi, how are you? You've been very quiet.
Hi. Sorry, I was just listening to a really good conversation. This is my husband, Jonathan.
Hello.
By the way.
Hi,
Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm going to send this document that I read. It's a report that Kraken just came out with. They do these monthly kind of recap reports of the activity of crypto in exchanges and what's going on with it. And I thought it was a pretty interesting overview. So I'll send it to you all and I'll share my screen. Sorry for all of the tabs that are open in advance. If I can, let's see. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, you guys, I'll go back to the beginning. So it's really just kind of a brief overview with like history also of like what happened in legacy finance to maybe trigger certain things that happened. But you guys can download it. It's free and whatnot. So these are just kind of the February takeaways as we're going into the month of March. You know, Bitcoin outperformed its peers with a 37% gain. And you guys can read all through this. It talks about Nifties, you know, or NFTs and whatnot. But they go through specific, you know, assets or coins, like Bitcoin, of course, and just kind of presents exactly the volatility, the volume, and all of that stuff that happened in February in the month, which is pretty significant. As I think someone said, you know, institutional investment was really, really high in the months of January and February. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. And then obviously Ethereum broke 2000. So I know for the new beginners, you know, you'll hear a lot of these words, Ethereum, you know, the next one's Polkadot and whatnot. So there's a lot of research that has to go behind a lot of these, I would say, before you even begin to start, you know, buying any of them. Obviously, would probably say that with everything, but it's just interesting to see what the activity was. And I'll let you guys go through each one yourself overall, but I thought that I would share the like overall monthly performance because I thought this first bullet point was interesting. Of all the large cap altcoins, Ethereum posted actually the worst monthly return of all the top ones, which was interesting, even though it kind of seemed like it stayed steady around 1,500 throughout the last month or so. And it stands as the second worst performing large cap altcoin this year with LTC.
So
Actually,
come here, Grayscale have been buying up Litecoin like in huge amounts. I have Litecoin and yeah, it's been doing dire. But yeah, Grayscale have been buying it up, so I'm hoping.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens with, I think, all of these, but just the ADA and DOT, that's Cardano and Polkadot. These are newer blockchains that are in an exciting phase relative to their companies of their rollout. So that's, if you see that they were the best performing crypto assets in terms of percentage returns, it really ties back to a lot of the announcements that they made during the month of February, like the Merry hard fork with Cardano and whatnot. So it's very volatile, and it's obviously very correlated with the activity of the rollout in the phases that they're engaging in month to month. So we'll have to probably wait for that to kind of level out a little bit more. But this is interesting too. This slide just kind of shows exactly on a day-to-day basis the big things that happened in February, which I think is interesting. You know, like MasterCard discloses plans to support crypto payments for merchants. That was a really big moment, and you could probably look in the graphs and see, you know, based on certain things that happened during the month of February, what happened to Bitcoin and Ethereum, and just kind of tying events to the prices.
I seen there the Janet Yellen.
Her name is banned. Don't even say her name.
Who?
She's actually marked on that one as 0.14 for the red candle.
Doesn't surprise me. There's a gang of red candles with her name on them.
There, look, we have the red candle on K. I'm pointing at my screen here, and you can't see me pointing.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I just laugh every time I see her name. I just start laughing for some reason, going like, "Oh man!"
Just all the memes. It's the most memed person in crypto.
Just get on with the stimulus package.
Yeah, that's coming soon. You've got that to look forward to for the prices.
I'm not looking forward to any of that.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It just, the amount of bullishness, it's hard. Like, you nearly forget half this stuff. When this stuff used to happen and be like, whoa, now it just happens like, oh yeah, whatever. It's so much bullishness, you can't even comprehend all of the factors in play here, you know.
I think it was some days ago in the Twitter was a guy that built a bot. Every time that guy pulled shift was talking about Bitcoin, the bot was going to buy Bitcoin, and he was selling exactly X amount of time after, and he was in a huge profit, because it's really interesting to see that kind of things.
Yeah, that's
how much happened in 1 month, actually, when you really look through all of this.
Yeah, it's shocking. I was just reading it here. It's even though you heard it when it was happening, but we've become desensitized to these big events now. This mass adoption's happening so quickly, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think I wanted to just show you guys this page specifically too, and get your thoughts on this as well. You know, obviously the last time we all met, you guys showed some really great graphs of, you know, trying to predict, you know, the future based on historic trends with, you know, logarithmic growth curve. And so this is interesting. It says, basically, if one were to assume that Bitcoin corrects at about 70%, which if you can see, it's this green line, is the 70%, Bitcoin would need to be trading at $102,000 to fall down to the log growth curve support of 30,620, 385 days from month end. So meanwhile, a 90% correction implies a 360. So kind of you start seeing like what points are we going to have to hit based on too.
It looks very like the stock to flow chart.
Yeah, I was thinking that,
yeah. Reminds me of the Bitcoin rainbow chart. If you haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I've seen that one as well, yeah.
What do you guys think about this though?
you know, it also shows the same pattern that I shared in the chart at the very start, where we've got each of the 4 cycles. Well, we've got 3 cycles and we're now in the 4th. So it's kind of measuring this part here. Where does that correlate? And like most of the influencers that I've been watching are saying we're correlating down here.
You are not showing nowhere. You know, you are just pointing in your screen.
I don't think the chart's big enough, Paula. I don't think your screen's long enough to show where it's gonna go.
That's like sometimes when I think I have a touch screen and I'm like, why is this not working?
Happens all the time.
But I think the other day I tried to put the Fibonacci on the chart, and he gave me exactly. You have some 102K. It's more or less. He touched on one of the Fibonacci levels for the future. You know, I think for me it will be possible to achieve the 100K on this wave.
I think this wave is going to break 100K.
Me too.
Easily, yeah.
Me too.
The next Fibonacci line lies at 62,000.
Do you want to open a chart, David? Do you want to share?
Yeah. Stop sharing.
Quinn, thanks for sharing that. That was a really good find. Vivian, that's definitely something that should help you as well, just to get familiar with the most popular coins and the names of the most popular coins and get some history on them. And you as well, Catherine.
There's actually, hold on, I just opened the Coinbase chart. I don't know if I have the fibs open on that. I won't keep you for long messing around with charts, but yeah, look, we've no action up above here, so we've not really lines. I mean, here's the peak here. So the latest peak. So I mean, up here, there's no action. I mean, we had what did we hit? We came up to 58K momentarily. So down below, these are the levels to watch here. As you can see here, we had massive interaction with this line. We're currently using it as support the last couple of hours. So, I mean, we could bounce off from this right here. You know, who knows? We could go down and clip this one.
Do you think we'll go below that one?
I don't know. I think
there is chances to go below. And don't forget that historically, March is a very bad month to Bitcoin.
Yeah, moving average. There's a moving average down at around 38, 40K. It's probably moved up a bit. Actually, I haven't looked at it. It's probably 40, 42K now.
42. I would point to the 42.
So 42 being the absolute bottom. I could see if it goes below that, we've got some other serious issues going on. We're kicking open the bare doors, and that ain't gonna happen.
Any idea what percentage of a drop from top to 42 is? Like, so in
one of the Fibonacci levels, it makes part of the retracement.
In the other bull runs, we've had 40% corrections. We've had 38% corrections in the other bull runs. The last correction that we had in January was around a 33% correction, if I'm right. And that actually lasted for 3 weeks.
That's true, yeah. It's 20 days, I think it lasted for a year.
So we're not even a week fully into this, we're 2 weeks into this correction, are we? We are, we're on
9 days. 9 days.
Our meetup, we were all here celebrating when we reached 58 grand live on our meetup, yeah? And then the next day it was like, no.
But it's easy to forget that it's only just over 2 weeks ago that we were all sitting around waiting for it to go through 50. You know, saying, is it going to reach the magical 50? Is it going to reach the 50? And then it just flew through 50 right up to 58. And that was only 2 weeks ago.
That was only 2 weeks ago. And I thought 50 was going to be
I thought 50 would be a real resistance.
Huge resistance for...
It's still being a resistance. Even, I think, in the last couple of days, it touched 2 times there and come down.
Yeah, I took a load of profit at 46.
Huge amount of my profits are out at 57. And it was more intuition than anything, but I just felt that it just couldn't keep going up. And like, I'm not by any means an expert, so it was more of a gut feeling or intuition. But yeah, I took like well over half of all my portfolio out when Bitcoin was at 57, and then I bought back in with all the dips. So I was pretty happy with that one.
Good on you.
Yeah,
Nice.
you know, well,
You need
Yes,
to,
you
to
did
share
real
that
well.
tips to us, no?
Yeah.
So, like, every time I do something like that, it just goes, it's a recipe for disaster. It just changes its mind how much technical analysis I do, no matter how many indicators I have on and focus and tension I give it.
But
As soon as I say I'm going to take profits now, we get the biggest green candle that you've seen in a week.
But I started on the last days, I started reading a lot about the Elliott waves. And in fact, it explains a lot of the movements of this. And I start to see, I went back and to study a little bit, and I start to see a lot of things that if you start reading well, the Elliott waves, you can prevent a lot of things, and you can be in the right position. But of course, it's not easy to see the points. I don't know if there is anyone on the call that have experience with Elliott waves.
That's the 4-hour chart, David.
yeah. You're have to put in some tasty greens there. I think we could be just possibly could have a bounce if we hold.
And this yellow cloud underneath here is the 4-hourly average. It's kind of, it combines all the moving averages, into this cloud. So we've touched the top of it. Yeah. Oh, so we've been above the 4-hourly cloud still. So we haven't gone below the 4-hourly cloud.
No, so I think look at the weekends don't count. The weekends Bitcoin goes just completely bonkers.
Yeah.
I wouldn't attempt to make a trade on the weekend ever again.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we're going to get a green dot down here on the 4-hourly chart.
Yeah.
Is there a green dot? Can you change?
Do you know?
Go ahead.
You know, the last like 5 or 6 weeks, every single Sunday is just everything goes down. Like literally definitely the last 5 Sundays in a row, everything goes down. Is there any reason behind that? Is that a common thing, or is that just a bit of a coincidence the last few weeks?
All the institutions knock off for the weekend, and then all the crazy retail heads are on taking control of the wheel. Is basically what I think happens.
The problem is you start to have some retail investors with very big seated on a very big amount of coins. That kids that start on let's say on 2014, 15, 16, they are now in the early 20s, and they sit in a pile of bitcoins. This is their world, and every movement they do. The other day I was looking the whales doing movements. It's impressive. It's impressive the amount of Bitcoin is changing daily on a daily basis.
Yes.
Can you change that down to the 2-hour chart for a minute? I just want to see the bottom indicator on it. Okay, so that's
there's a green dot.
Yeah.
Anything you know why Dash and Monero have not yet done any run on this wave?
So Dash is a privacy coin. Yeah. And when the XRP issue came into play and the SEC started getting involved, some exchanges delisted some privacy coins, Dash being one of them.
Okay.
I kind of, the old all-time high for Dash was around $4,500 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's 20 now. I think I was looking in it last week, and I think I was even I tried to research if there was anything. They're going to release some updates on the wallet on the next weeks.
Yeah, I don't think kind of a couple of months ago I was looking at it and thinking, coins are starting to move again, and there might be a little bit of hope for Dash, but really I don't see what the blockchain has to offer anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, privacy coins are kind of counterintuitive now, because if we're looking for mass adoption and we want the companies to command the proper money, it's a contradiction kind of. We
I
need
understand the point. Maybe it's a very good point.
Centralization versus decentralization. We've come to a crossroads now, and I think we're heading down the centralized route for the most part. KYC everywhere. I mean, things have changed. When Monero and all were launched, that was the whole ethos, wasn't it? It was the whole money revolution, privacy revolution. But we've come a long way from that now, so I don't really see the place of the privacy coin anymore. I love them. I think they're great. Like, I think there is use cases for it in certain jurisdictions, but for our civilization, like most Western civilizations, not really. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. I was
used
just
a lot.
wondering.
They're used a lot by rug pullers and stuff like that to
stay
hide what they're
anonymous.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the Billions, you know, anyone ever watch Billions? They touch on the fifth season. They touch a little bit of the corruption with the Bitcoin and with the cryptocurrency. They start to pay the people with crypto. It's funny to see the crypto getting on the Hollywood through that kind of thing. But at least they start to talk about crypto.
More negative press for us, more social baggage. Huh? Just what we needed.
We are still scared, though.
Publicity is publicity.
Yeah, no such thing as bad publicity.
Radio Lab, and they recently did one. I think it was a few days ago on the coin Zcash and how it was created and everything. But it's a whole story. It's about a half an hour long, but it's fascinating. I'd really recommend anyone to listen to it. Really,
Where
really
is
good.
it on YouTube?
It's a podcast, so you find it on any of the podcast apps, but the podcast is called Radio Lab, and the episode was on Zcash, the cryptocurrency.
Oh, that's such a good episode. That's a really good one. It's Radio Lab, right?
Yeah.
Will you drop a link or the name of the podcast into the comments? It's just I'll download it later on and send out a mail, and it'll also be in the Yeah.
I see that your Aaron Gold is doing a movement now.
Elrond is the best coin ever.
I think he's going to fly. He's doing a very good movement. I think
it's the only altcoin that I've ever hung on to. That's the one that I've hung on to. I just got rid of everything else. I love it.
I was looking yesterday to it, and he's doing the charts are really promising. I think if he breaks that line, he will fly.
Yeah, it's such a good project. It's a fully functioning layer 2, and it's just flying at the moment. Had a bit of a correction as well, so I'd say it's primed to take off. I think it'd be a good time for it now. Yeah.
Cardano done well as well since our last meetup.
Yeah, it's taken all them Ethereum punters.
Oh, actually, I was given a coin to keep my eye on for the month. Now, I'd already had a little pump this week when everything was going down, but I was told that the month of March is going to be really amazing for BAT and to keep a close eye on it. BAT is basic attention economy, basic attention token, and it's on the Brave browser. So I use the Brave browser myself all of the time. I swear by it. I think it's great. I am also registered with them as a content creator. So I'm on the opposite side of the fence as well as being a user. It's my go-to browser now. So
I used it a couple of months ago, but I used to have problems with some sites that I used it to use. So I stopped it. I went back to Chrome, and now I changed to the one from Microsoft. Maybe I will recall again the project on a couple of months ago.
So if you're using Brave and you have different websites, so it blocks all the cookies and it blocks everything. It does all that privacy stuff. But you can set particular websites that when you go to particular websites, you can have special settings for them that if you want things not blocked.
But the most frustrating for me was I cannot connect between devices. I wanted to have my access to on the mobile phone to the ones that I have open. The history.
Can you not just link your Google account?
It was not possible. It was turning off.
Okay, well, it is possible now because even my Google, again. It is because my Google Calendar and all for the likes of all these things come through on Brave.
Because normally, when I used to commute to the work, I used to open a lot of pages on the mobile phone, and then I wanted to go home and let me open and reopen them on the computer, and I lost that kind of thing, and I was really frustrated. And then I went back to Chrome. That's it.
I'm
my RAM.
I'm sure there's an option in it. I'm just trying to think what it is.
That was off. I think they had problems and they turned it off at the time that I was using.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
I think it's very good. I like it. You know, it has a built-in VPN. It has it's fast. It's Chromium based as well. Now I believe they want to move away from that.
And you get paid for watching ads.
You get paid for watching ads.
It's always a good thing.
And then I never put it on my own personal website, on my business website. I never put Google ads on my website. But there, about 2 weeks ago, I enabled Brave ads. But it doesn't mean that Brave ads actually gets shown on my website pages. It just means that if somebody goes to my website, that they'll get a notification to say there's an ad that they might like to see. So it doesn't get in the way of their browsing experience.
No, I find really normal to use. Like the other one just had some problems with some kind of websites. And the most frustrating, it was just it was not integrated with all the other devices.
I'm fairly sure. I'm just looking at it now, and it's got. Let's see if I can share it. When you go to sync, it allows you to cross sync across devices, so you can. I've got it on my Samsung.
It's new. It was added because at the time was not working. Even I searched, and they said that was turned off because of some problems they got.
Oh right, well it seems to work okay. But,
okay, yeah. Perfect. I will give it a try for sure.
Vivian's just dropping off. No problem, Vivian, if you're still here. Goodbye. Thanks for visiting. I hope you see the recording.
Have any of you guys read the book Life After Google by George Gilder?
No, never did.
No.
I'll put a link in the chat. It's really, that's the book that got us to use Brave, like really early too. And it's really interesting because the guy behind Brave and BAT is the guy who invented JavaScript essentially. So
Brandon.
Yeah, something like that.
Brandon.
Yeah, and he's really, I mean, I think early days it was a little bit frustrating, but they've been trying to work out a lot of the kinks. And I think it's really interesting, like Paul, I think it's great that you can enable Brave ads. That was something that was like talked about in the future, but it's a really great way to potentially, for us, based on the content creators that we go to often, we can, give our basic attention token. Our attention is on that, so we can actually reward content creators in a more peer-to-peer way than, like Google ads, for example, when they get all the money.
So it does kind of fall in under the tipping kind of thing. And, the culture in Ireland very much is a tipping culture if you were going to a restaurant or you went to a pub or somewhere like that. But online, the tipping culture isn't as prominent as it would be in person-to-person type businesses. I've been a Brave verified creator since day one. I was one of their first verified creators. And being honest with you, I've earned very, very little from tips, like very, very little. I've probably tipped substantially more than I have earned in tips, because I don't think the little triangle up in the Brave browser is big enough to let people know you're a verified creator in the first place. Because only verified creators can actually receive their tips. So I think there's a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of reconditioning of how people think about viewing content online and how they pay for content online if they're going to pay for it.
I think that people don't have the idea how much work or how much effort you put on making a 15 minutes video. And to be honest, I feel completely on that category. I just had that idea because I'm thinking to do some videos to demonstrate my skills. And I was talking with a friend that he have a channel in YouTube, and he told me that for every 15 minutes of video, it spends about 3-4 hours working on that video. And sometimes he needs to record everything because something was not right. And I was impressed. Oh my God, that's a real job that you do. And to be honest, I think if the people was aware of how much work he gives to make something, they will tipping more. I think it's maybe with the time you come to that level.
But it's also not being a culture online to tip. There hasn't been a facility there for it, and it's only now with the oncoming of Web3 that all of this can start to happen, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really surprised that there isn't an app out there at the moment, literally, that will connect any website to a MetaMask wallet for tipping purposes. Any website. And that app doesn't exist yet.
We have super chat on YouTube. Great to get a tip.
Where is the developers on this channel? I need
Who wants to start this
developers
business right now?
Say that again, Quinn.
Who wants to start this business right now?
It's a winner. It's a winner, guys. Someone should do
we
it.
make a ICO and we become millionaires.
Do we have any devs, do we?
Yeah, that guy from last week from Miami.
Oh, yeah.
He actually offered if any of us need any work done, so get him up there. We got work for him.
Do you know, there has to be a simple like WordPress plugin content creators, because let's face it,
Lost you, Paul.
Oh, Paula's internet's gone.
WordPress said.
You there, Paula? You're dropping in and
She'll
out.
be back.
Log in.
There you are.
We're just hearing the important words.
Oh, she's gone.
Yeah.
Completely gone this time.
I would definitely recommend you guys, if you are looking for a good read. I think that the book, George Gilder is the author of another book called Life After Television. That was, he published that before the internet happened in the early 90s. And yeah, it predicted the iPhone essentially. And he told us, because he actually came onto campus when we were in grad school and we got to meet him, and he was a really interesting guy, and told us a story that Steve Jobs took his book into Apple and told everyone, this is the future, we got to go for this. And I mean, it's pretty interesting. A lot of things that he predicts in the book we're kind of starting to see happen. So this was published back in 2017, I think. And when it was published, it was the #1 book in China. I mean, his book was plastered all over all over buses, and he had thousands of people attend his talks and whatnot, because obviously Google is not, it's censored in China. So to understand what the world's going to be like once that's no longer something that they're restricted from.
Yeah, I mean, this whole pandemic's after Russian, what was going to happen in the next 10 years is all happening. It's on top, it's upon us now. The financial system's starting to collapse. You got the DeFi, it's going to take over. I mean, things are about to change so fast. And the blockchain, as we were saying earlier on at the start, is going to incorporate technologies that we can't even fathom right now. You know, software we can't even fathom. It's you don't recognize the world in another few years.
The other day, someone told that the best of blockchain is yet to be invented. So
it's in its infancy. Yeah, exactly.
I think the issue is trust, and so many of us don't trust authority. As a society, we trust authority much less than we used to. So we need to trust something else, some cryptography.
I think if another 2008 happens, will be definitely a big jump for blockchains and whatever, because the money is trust. You trust that the notes, that the money that you have in your pocket have a certain value. If tomorrow you wake up without value, you lose the trust on the system. And I think the people today, I don't go to a bank. I don't walk inside of a bank, a brick and mortar bank. I don't know, 2 years, 3 years that I don't walk. So most of the days I'm without any coin. The other day I wanted to give a coin to the guy on that was playing music, and I didn't have nothing on my pocket. I needed to go to the cash machine, take money, go to a shop, buy something to have some coins to give to a guy, And
did he not have a credit card machine?
No, not yet. you don't.
Today that the dollar started to rally a little bit and gain a little bit of strength today.
It started yesterday, yeah.
Yesterday, which I'm really surprised with, considering they're printing more money.
You wait till they print the money, the 2 trillion or whatever it is.
There's a lot of, between the quantitative easing and everything, I mean, they're really trying to do everything they can to ensure that the dollar is.
They're propping it up. It's funny, the reason that the dollar is on a bit of a run. Now, when you open up the chart, I had to open up earlier, the DXY, the Dixie chart, it's called, the dollar index chart. It's basically, it's only moving tiny, but you have to understand that this is a multi-trillion market, so tiny moves are trillions of dollars. So it's on a pump for in relative to what it is. It's on a bit of a pump. And I couldn't figure this out, as you were saying, all the quantitative easing. They released the 10-year bonds there yesterday or the day before. So all of the institutions are bored with crypto now. They're saying, well, this shit can go up and down 20%. I'll just buy these bonds here nice and safe. So that's what's only for that. I think if that hadn't happened, I think we would have already took off, broke 50 again and be heading off somewhere up into the 60s. So that's going to keep Bitcoin down for another couple of days, maybe. I don't know. But watch that chart, because that chart is indicative of what is going to fall into crypto. So if that takes a little dive, we're off to the races. But while that's going up, just be cautious. Don't buy into any big positions. Dollar cost average, if you're buying a new coin, just don't buy everything now, you know.
Any of you was on the conference of Bloomberg crypto that was a week ago? It was really interesting because an institution like Bloomberg have now a division that is called Bloomberg Crypto. And they made a webinar all the day. And there was a lot of people coming to discuss about the crypto world. And most of the people were saying that Bitcoin is becoming a storage of value. And many people were defending that the companies need to hold Bitcoins in order to balance against the dollar and to bring some security to them. And it's really interesting to see. I think you can find the records online. I'm not sure. Let me try to see if I find, and I drop on the chat.
David, were you saying we should be watching the dollar index?
Yeah, have a look at that chart, because when that's going up, Bitcoin and gold is going down, and obviously vice versa. And it's an amazing indicator. You know, it gives you a couple of hours heads up on probably what to expect. I couldn't figure out what was causing the dip, the fundamental bullishness that's going on. And it's only when I uncovered that I realized, that's the culprit. That's what it is. And then 10-year bonds got released. So, you know, I know that's once every 10 years.
We're due a correction anyway.
Yeah, we are.
It's my opinion that we're due a bigger correction than the correction that we've had.
I'd love to see it. It'd be the most healthy thing ever. We get down, touch that moving average, and then just take off to the moon, and just, that's it. Happy days. We all live happily ever after.
We'll have a meetup on Bitcoin Island then after.
Bitcoin Island.
It'll be COVID free.
We won't be able to travel there though.
No, we will,
have to stow away.
Make so much money on the Bitcoin. We'll have the private jets to pick you all up. It'd be grand.
That'd be awesome.
Lambo.
Have a plane each.
In 2017, everyone was on the running to the Lambo.
Okay, well, look, we're going to try and end it now this evening. We're going to try and stick to the times every week, so we're not kind of dragging out and making people feel like they have to be here for longer. So we've already gotten a little bit over time. So don't forget, next week we have our speaker coming on. We have Jess coming on talking to us about the non-fungible tokens. So I'd like to thank you all very, very much for coming in this evening. Some familiar faces from the last one, some new faces. It's really great to see us all. And I hope you can make it to the next one. I will put up a recording of this and send you all the link to the recording of this as well. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Thank you all. Thank you, Paul.
Really enjoyed it. Good to chat to you.
Great to see you, Simon. See you, Oakley, Carlos, Fred, Marco, Quinn. See you. Bye now. Bye everyone.
Thanks for organising, Paula and David.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem.
Thank you.
See you
Thanks
later.
for coming.
Bye-bye.